We moved to Maryland when I was 8, and the new house felt like an upgrade. A yard that smelled of pine after rain, a creek behind the garage, neighbors who waved. One of those neighbors lived in the house with the sagging deck, where a single, buzzing bulb cast a sickly yellow light on the scene each night. He was the kind of man who smiled too quick and lingered in the doorway like a question waiting to be answered. He invited me over to watch cartoons, made me Jell-O in a plastic cup, and had a way of asking for small things that felt like favors instead of intrusions. I thanked him for the snack and wandered home with the taste of sugar and the distant echo of his laugh. For years, the memory of that laugh kept the house from settling down at night. It threaded the house the way a wire runs through a wall, silent, essential, and hard to trace. I didn't name it then. Children don't have words for the way someone can take up wrong space in your life. We only know that our skin prickles when they enter the room. He liked having me about. Liked explaining things slowly. Liked watching. When other kids were there, he would hover at the edge of the porch, his eyes always a beat too long. He made ordinary things strange by the way he watched them happen. The way a swimming pool could turn from a place to laugh into a basin where eyes waited. A backyard into a theater with one too many seats. My father stopped me from going to his house when I was 12. Adults used different, sharp words with one another. Things I was not supposed to know, spoken in low tones at the kitchen table. My dad's face went quiet, like a radio, when he talked about it. He refused to tell me everything. In the blank space he left, fear mulched and grew. As a teenager, I tried to outrun it. I ran at dusk with earbuds clamped in, music like a metronome between me and the world. One night, on a street lined with closed houses and sleeping cars, I felt a car settle behind me and stay. Tires whispered on the asphalt, a presence that matched my pace. He pulled up, rolled down the window, and asked how old I was. I lied. He craned his head and made a sound like a promise or a threat, and then, like someone closing a book you thought was yours, he drove on. He became part of the background. Then the single light in his garage. When I walked the dog, the binocular glinting like a signal on his deck. When I swam in the creek or lay in the weak summer sun. Sometimes his granddaughter would come over and I would play with her at the fence. Sometimes she wouldn't. The difference was his shadow. It was always at the edge of the fence line when I turned my head. It smelled like old cigarettes and something sweeter I couldn't name, the air of a room that holds too many secrets. I learned to look for his light each time I left the house, to hold my breath when a neighbor's window opened. I learned to fold my body small on porches to watch my own reflection in the darkened TV screen, like a person visiting me from another life. The creek that had been a refuge as a child became a place where I expected to be seen. The music in my ears stopped doing its job. Fear is a thing that rewires you. It turns movement into negotiation and courtesies into barriers. My parents still get calls about him. He asks about me, like a man reading a map he's lost the legend to. He says vulgar things about girls in the neighborhood, words that smell of chalk dust and rot. Sometimes I imagine the law arriving in flares of blue and breaking the soft domestic geometry of his driveway. I imagine officers stepping out, notebooks in hand, the bulb in his garage swinging like a metronome, and him sitting small in the back of a car that would mean safety. But imagination is a poor substitute for resolution. Most nights the light is still on. Sometimes, when the house is quiet enough for memory to come forward, I walk to my window and watch his deck. The binocular rests on a folding chair like an instrument waiting to be played. The bulb hums. The man moves in the margins, his voice a low thing you could mistake for wind if you wanted to. I keep waiting for a knock. I am too practiced to answer. I wait for the light to go out and longer after it does, because when the light dies, the watching doesn't always stop. It just finds new holes to hide, in between curtains, under leaves, in the polite distances neighbors give one another. The creek keeps running. I keep listening. The hum goes on, like a neighbor you cannot move away from, like a part of the house that remembers and refuses to forget.